thank you all for coming. We have a guest speaker, Hussain Abdullah. I'll let him introduce himself, but before he does, I just want to say that you are in for a treat. If you are here for entrepreneurship, if you are here to learn about investing in real estate, if you are here to learn how to be successful and get over adversities, then you're at the right place. So, Hussain Abdullah, thank you. Thank you for coming.
So before I start introducing myself, I just want to know who I'm talking to. So by age or by year, however you want to do it. Sophomores, raise your hand. Junior class? Senior class? All right. Oh, this is going to be the fun class. Yeah, I like talking to seniors because I could talk crazy. You can ask me anything you want and I'll introduce myself like I said. So I'm a retired New York City educator. I taught math and worked for the city for 14 years. I was able to retire at age 37 because of my real estate investing. I bought my first property when I was 22 with credit cards. And to fast forward that, I just bought a mobile home park in Heights last year with credit cards. So what that means is I was able to acquire a property that was multi-million dollars and I didn't put a penny of my own money into it. So I can give you those type of strategies. You can ask me anything you want. You got the YouTube, the subs, all that type of stuff. You can ask me anything you want. So we have some questions just to guide the conversation. But like I said, if you have something specific, I have no problem answering that. I'm really here to address your needs more than just to talk about myself. And the last thing is Coach sent y'all all a copy of the ebook. Everybody download it. It's like free for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And you can have background. It shouldn't be the last time I'm here. Yeah. So I don't want to waste too much with the intro. I think you'll learn more about me through questions. And hopefully y'all have more questions than Coach. But I know it'll take 5 minutes for y'all to warm up. So
right.
You got time. You got time.
All right. So thinking about these multiple streams of income that you've been able to acquire through real estate and other businesses, what was your first business venture and what did you learn from it?
Okay, my first official business venture, like an LLC, creating a company, was called HTH Designs. And that was inspired one day by my older brother. So back in the days, they had just like these, iron-on shirts, something kind of like y'all have DTGs. Mm-hmm. And at the time, like Biggie t-shirts, Tupac t-shirts, just real easy things. You take a picture. And I wanted at the time, I was a Cameron fan. And I was like, man, nobody has a pink shirt with Cam on it. I need to get, and my brother was like, you could just make that. Go to Staples, get the thing, whoop, whoop. And we went home, ironed it on. I wore it outside that day, wore it around my neighborhood, ended up going to a couple sneaker stores that I always went to, and ended up having a couple of contracts with the local sneaker stores. And that happened organically. And I think that's something that could be a gem for y'all. Whatever it is that you like to do, you're gonna be passionate about it regardless. So I like fashion, I like clothes, I like, sports. So it's just a natural progression for me to do a clothing business. That was my first official LLC business back in 2004.
Wow. So you just said something about doing things in a natural progression. There are some people who are like natural entrepreneurs and most of us aren't. So when we see entrepreneurs handling their business on YouTube or out in public, they make it look easy. So what are some of the misconceptions that people really have when it comes to starting a business?
There's a few. I think one misconception that people have is that you need a lot of money. The t-shirt transfers at the time, probably, I'll adjust it for inflation for today's prices, right? Because that's like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So you could go right now to Walmart and go get a pack of t-shirt transfers for like 20 bucks. You got printed ink. Buy t-shirts. T-shirts are $5 a pop. So all in, you might spend 50 bucks and you can sell each one of them shirts for $20, $25, $30 if you have a cool concept or if you want to take the time to customize it. Like people was like, can I get this shirt with my name on it? And I was like, sure. And I sit there with the X-Acto knife and be like, it's gonna cost you $50, but you're gonna have something that nobody else has.
Right.
And this is really before customization really started happening. People had a certain, like I said, certain sneakers, or they're from a certain neighborhood. So I would customize the stuff specifically for the neighborhood. So let's say you was like from North Killeen or something like that. Let's say there's not too many. I haven't seen ever anybody with a North Killeen shirt, right, or like a Rancia shirt or something like that, where you could customize it. So the one thing is, it doesn't take a lot of money to start a business. To create an LLC in the state of Texas is only $300.
Right.
So the money that you might spend on food, snacks, clothes here and there, whatever, partying, you could put that to the side, give yourself a few $100s, and make an endless, infinite amount of money as you progress. And you guys are the YouTube generation, the TikTok generation. I had to learn all this stuff by myself.
Yeah.
So everything I had to do cost me money. I had to make mistakes. Y'all don't have to make mistakes because you got people like us that you could just Google us or Google a key term and figure it out. So one of the biggest misconceptions is that you need a lot of money to start a business. Dom had a question?
Yeah. You're saying LLC, I know a limited liability company, but what is that like?
That's a really good example. What you like to do? What's your favorite thing to do? If you had I'm gonna ask y'all a lot of questions because I don't just want to talk this whole time, all right? So I'm gonna ask everybody a question while I ask Dom, because I might call on you to answer, all right? So if you had all the money in the world, what would your day look like? And before I get to your question, the reason I ask that is because most times, I also have a teen academy, but we'll talk about that later. When I talk to young people, even old people, 30, 40, 50, like, what do you want? And all of their answers revolve around making money. Like your only purpose in life is making money. If you had all the money in the world, what would you think about? What would you want to do? Because right now you're on a paper chase. Your whole day is surrounded about money. So LLC is like this. So your name is Dom, right? Mm-hmm. You make $1 million. God forbid you do something, somebody sues you. They take your $1 million. You have a business. It's a limited liability. Limited liability means if something happens to anything that's owned or conducted by the business, even though Dom is the owner, the managing member, the founder, Dom does not have any liability for what happened. I'll give you a real example. I just sold the hotel. And
Which one?
The Friendship Inn, the purple one. Yeah, I just sold my stake in the Friendship Inn, right? So yesterday, like I'll show you the paper before you walk out. They just sent some paperwork. Somebody sued for some nonsense, bed bugs. And I'm like, I'm not the owner. But even if I was, all of my money can't be touched. My cars, my house, all that stuff can't be touched, even though the guy's not gonna get money. It's like a frivolous thing. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna be able to sleep comfortably at night knowing that he can't touch my money. So that's why you set up a limited liability company to remove yourself from risk of lawsuits. That hotel was in a company by itself. All they could touch is that hotel. They can't touch any of my other buildings, anything else. That make sense?
Yeah.
All right, it's a good question. Thank you for asking.
That makes sense. So it makes sense to have, I would assume if you have multiple businesses, you should probably have multiple LLCs.
Yes.
Otherwise, if you have all of your businesses, all of your property, all of your ventures under one LLC, all they have to do is sue that one. They got everything. It
kind of defeats the purpose of, so like back to like this conversation here, right? And in those books, if you look, there's an emblem on it, the M squared, right? For Mathman, that's me, Mathman H, right? That's my education company. So God forbid, like we was just talking about, coach was talking about somebody tripping or something. Let's say one of y'all tripped and y'all decided to sue me. You would say, well, who was there? But this guy was there for education. You'd sue that company. Mm-hmm. You couldn't touch my real estate. And you wouldn't get no money from it. But anyway, like, got good lawyers. But that being said, so you see how each thing is in a silo. And you want to keep it like that because education doesn't necessarily also have anything to do with real estate. So good question.
All right, so if they want to start a business, what are some of the first steps that they should actually take?
Let's go with this. And if you really don't want to get called on, like, look the other way. Oh, I like that. I'm calling you. No, I'm not with you. All right. All the money in the world, what would your day look like? There's no wrong answers.
I don't even know.
All right, that's why I asked. You got time. What do you do all day if you have nothing to do? What makes you happy? The best thing in life?
Probably spend time with siblings.
Spend time with siblings. When you spend time with your siblings, what do you do with your siblings?
Well, time my kids usually spends time with them at their soccer games.
Soccer games?
Yeah.
You like soccer yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so then you could go into the sports field. The business that you do could do something with leisure. It could be some family planning. Because you understand the value of that, you're gonna have passion about that. So you could create experiences for people in that industry. Now, you got the passion part down, so you're gonna work Saturday, Sunday, you're gonna work 10 o'clock at night, you're gonna check your email 2 in the morning, because you wanna make sure that everybody that comes through your business gets that quality experience, right? That's the hard part of entrepreneurship. Because people are like, oh, I wanna do Turo, I wanna do whatever get rich quick scheme. They have no passion for what the project is, and they get frustrated and they throw it away.
And then they start working.
Yeah, so that's the hard part. You find your passion, boom. It's literally this easy. You I could give you guys a number. He does it for free. But basically, you register with the state that you live in, which is the state of Texas. You set up a state registration number. Then you take that state registration number, and then you go to the Fed's website, and you get an EIN. That's like your social security number for your business. Now you're a business. You're a legit entity. The next thing you do is you open up a business bank account, so all your transactions go through, and it's that easy. You can have anybody in this class can have an LLC by next week. But the fun part is doing something with it. I have people who set up LLCs for years and didn't do anything with it.
They just paying that franchise tax.
So franchise tax. We talk about franchise tax. Every year in the state of Texas, you have to register to let them know that you exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's called franchise tax. And like I pay franchise tax. If you make more than $2.4 million in a year, you have to pay franchise tax. If you make under $2.4 million in a year, you have to register and let them know that you exist. So it's a difference. But that's one of my goals. Every year I say, like, I'm looking to get a championship. If I pay franchise tax, I made it to the championship. I'm happy to make that kind of. Franchise tax is only 1% of your gross income. Yeah. So if you make $3 million, you only got to pay $3,000. I'm happy to pay that $3,000 to know that I made it.
They need to turn that to the property tax.
Yeah, exactly.
1% of it.
Exactly. I'm happy every year. I'm happy. That's we call those good problems. I'm happy to have that problem. I don't want to make $1.5 million. That's a bad year for me.
I'm glad you touched in on the passion as well. If you don't have, it sounds like when you're starting a business, and there's multiple businesses you can start for multiple reasons or whatnot, but that one business that's really going to catapult you, you do have to have that passion, because that's what it's going to drive your work ethic, your discipline, and everything else like that. It's your why. I'm pretty sure we've all heard that before. If you don't have a reason or a rhyme or any type of goal like that, then you're probably going to fail at everything you do, let alone especially starting a business, because there's no boss to tell you, hey, you got to get up at 2, while you're talking about Turo, I had to get up at 4 in the morning because somebody booked it like at 2, didn't get the alarm, they had to come at 5. All right, cool. Me already doing it, having a passion for everything that I'm trying to pursue, me and my wife both get up, we go out, handle it. 5 in the morning, hey, we good. Go back, get 30 minutes more sleep before we have to get the kids up. But if you don't have that drive, you're definitely gonna fail, because there's nobody that's gonna tell you, hey, you have to get up and do this. Hey, did you do that report? Hey, did you check about the taxes? None of that. So.
And can I add one thing to that? Yeah. There's something called scaling, right? The bigger you get.
Yes.
So one of my guys, I shout him out because it's going on my thing. My man Keem, we first met, he was like 22, 23. He calls me, he's like a serial entrepreneur. He's always on the move. He's 23, he's already a millionaire. Yeah. Like that, like he's always making moves. So then Terrell comes out, and he used to be a car salesman, so he knew the game. Long story short, he ends up with like 50 to 80 cars in like 3 months.
Dang.
And I'm like, wow, you killing it. He's like, oh, look, he's online. You can see J&J Credit Repair. He got his other things. Like, you can see his Instagram. And he's like, oh, I'm just sitting here making money. And all the cars are pulling up, and he gets all the Teslas, and they all moving. I'm like, and he right now, I don't even think he broke 30 yet, right?
Yeah.
But the point is, we're talking about scaling. I'm like, bro, you got to take some of that money, get into real estate. And we've done some real estate deals because it's more passive.
Yes.
And so what happens is, a couple months after he gets all these cars, he promotes, he does all this stuff. I'm like, okay, we're gonna link up. Like, what's up? What's going on? He said, man, I'm tired, man. I gotta run to Austin. Why? Somebody was selling drugs out my Uber. I gotta go to the police because something happened. The car got shot up. So now his whole day is surrounded by dealing with insurance and nightmares and headaches. And I gotta coordinate. The cleaner wasn't there. There's so many cars moving. I gotta bring this car to Dallas. So now he has a job.
Yeah.
So like this morning, I had to set an alarm to get here because I had nothing else to do. I'm literally making money right now. And tomorrow's the 1st.
Yeah.
So my phone, that's why I turned off the thing. You see Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, because everybody's paying rent. So I don't have to do anything. My money is automated. And I have a property manager that takes care of all of the other stuff for me.
Exactly.
So I'm here because I want to be here. Like I was like, oh, I'm excited. I even woke up a little early, you know what I'm saying? Because I'll make sure I wasn't late. Because education is my passion, so I'll do this before I want to go look at a property.
Right.
So I try to tell you those little stories just to remember. Because yeah, it's cool to make a certain amount of money, but the point of having money is freedom. You don't want to be married to your business where you're stuck there all day, every day, and then what's the point? You become like a prisoner. So there's that.
It's good to have like an end game when you get into these other ventures that are, the whole purpose of it is to get money into, hopefully he is putting most of it in real estate, because that's the whole reason. Even if we're talking about investing in like stocks or whatnot, if you're not taking that money and investing in real estate, then what are you doing it for? But yeah, that's awesome. All right, so speaking of money, what are some key financial mistakes that people often make when they're starting out first?
This watch. My first time I made $100,000 in a day, first thing I did, I had that money spent in my head like five times over. I said, because I always wanted to. I was a teenager. I was this presidential Rolex with diamond dial, diamond bezel. You could Google and see how much it cost. When I couldn't afford one, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get one. So all right, 100 G's. I could go get one.
Yeah.
All right, and I gotta get a new car, and that's in the book. You'll see the picture. You read it, you'll see the picture. The $100,000 day, and all that money is basically in that picture. I could have just bought so much real estate. And then at that time,
what time? What
like
year was
10, 15. This is 2000. It's like 12 years ago. And then so I bought 2 condos.
Yeah.
And then I got my watch. I got a new Beamer, and I did like a little jewelry, like a little shopping, like when I spent like 5 or 6 G's on some clothes. And then so like, what happens is if I would have just waited and bought 6 condos, I could have bought. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
And then even if you look at it, hold on, did anybody download the book? Did anybody look at the book? Who downloaded the book? Who cracked open the first page? Thank you. All right. So after this, you go look. The first picture that you're gonna see, this is why I wish I had a slideshow. The first picture you're gonna see is me at 21. And you're gonna see so much jewelry, so much money. My whole belt is full of hundreds. It's like 40,000 in that pic. Then I'm young. I cashed out my 401k because I came back from Minnesota. And I spent all that money on jerseys and jewelry, jerseys, hats, sneakers, and jewelry. And I didn't work for like 18 months because I didn't need to go get a job. But at that time, if I would have invested that money, and I would have had all the same sneakers, all the same everything. But nobody really told me that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm here to tell you that there's something that you want right now, and y'all have the internet. Like Galaxies, I don't know who I'm talking to, who know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Galaxies, Galaxy phones, right? Phone houses.
Yeah.
They just came out. And then they didn't have the internet like that when they first came out, and I missed them. I said, oh, I'm gonna go get some Galaxies. Now, let's say right now my money's tied up, let's just say, and I don't get them. I could still go to Flight Club in 2 months and go buy them.
Right.
I could get my money right first now, and then when I make the profit from my investment or whatever, then I'll go get them, as opposed to spending my money. So like, think of like $1 as a soldier. Your money is meant to work for you. Every time you spend your money, you're giving away power. So I never spend my own money. What I do is when I make money, and this is something I had to learn over time, when I make money right now, the first thing I do is I invest all of it. And then when the proceeds come from those investments, then I could take money from that. But even the money that comes in, I don't spend 100% of my income because I always want to have more money. So I take a certain portion and I have fund money. And a certain portion goes to whatever bills, and the next goes to building wealth. Because there's never enough money. It's just, there's always gonna be more people to help. There's always gonna be another cause.
Yes.
And that's what it is. So I think that was the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so what is your biggest lesson you've learned from real estate investing?
Don't overextend yourself. I'm dealing with that right now. And if y'all go to the YouTube channel and all that, like, you'll see. So what happens is in 2020, 2021, y'all are young, so y'all don't know this, but this is gonna impact, this is what I'm gonna tell y'all is gonna still impact y'all as y'all move on. Every 10 years or so, there's a cycle, right? There's a high in the country, there's a low in the country, there's a high in the country. The last real estate crash was 2008. The last boom, the last bubble, like the last peak was 2020 and 2021. All the houses, the rent, everything went up in the nation. Now it's trickling down. So I retired from teaching in 2019, and then I went crazy. Like, I made so much money, I really honestly didn't think I was gonna make that kind of money because nobody knew that this was gonna happen in Killeen or anywhere, but we was making money in Killeen. So we were making all this money, spending money, and like I said, all this stuff, you could see how much money you go to jewelry store, spend a couple $100,000 in a day, put the receipts, like, this is all documented. Nothing I'm saying, I can show you. And then it's like, oh, because the money's not gonna stop coming. We had a couple months where we made $1 million in a month. So of course I'm going jewelry shopping. Of course I'm gonna go buy a new car, of course. So then what happens is then one day it all stopped. Like, it wasn't like a gradual thing. It all
It was
stopped.
abrupt.
Yeah, it was a light switch.
Yeah.
And I was like 600 G's.
Mm.
And I'm like, all right, but that money was supposed to go here. I'm like, damn, I just got another car. I just bought an AVID. I just got like, that's $3,000 a month. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that hurts.
Yeah.
And I didn't even used to drive it. But anyway, so then what happens is, because it's clean, where am I driving that car? Right now, it's a Nissan outside.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a $200,000 car in this parking lot.
No.
I had to kill somebody. Somebody take lean pictures, sit on it. Somebody had to get hurt. So then what happens is, the lesson I learned was not to overextend myself. So as things keep going down and the property values are still dropping right now, I said, you know, I'm accustomed to a certain lifestyle because flipping money is fast and it's big lump sums. But how do I sustain my lifestyle?
Mm-hmm.
So I got to go back and go get more properties. So then these deals are amazing because everybody's hurt. The best time to buy something is when somebody's motivated, right? If you just got your paycheck or you have money in your pocket and I'm like, hey man, let me buy your iPhone, you'd be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
But if you just went through something bad and I know that, I might be able to get your iPhone for half price. That's how the real estate market works. So there's motivated people and we get these properties for pennies on a dollar. And then we go to the bank, the burst strategy, I could get into that later, and then pull out all that equity and dodge taxes. So now we have all this money. The problem is that it was very hard to find those good flips.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I gotta buy a bunch of investment property. And I did, and I put every dollar I had, credit cards, maxed out everything. And then we had a storm, and I never anticipated the storm. So
Right.
we took hundreds of thousands of dollars repairs. And I'm like, well, I'm already tapped out. Where am I gonna get these hundreds of thousands of dollars? Well, I did, but I'm still paying the price for it now.
Right.
I should have had a better ratio. My thing was 99% of my money's in the street. Because if it's in a bank, I'm losing money because of like inflation. So I'm like, I don't want to lose anything. Everything's in the street. Now I would tell anybody, don't put more than 70 to 80% of your money in the street. You have to have a nest egg. When y'all get older, you understand this a little bit better, but I work with a lot of realtors. If they have kids or they're single moms or whatever, 6 months to a year, you gotta have 6 months to a year reserve in your bank account in case you can't sell for 3-6 months. Like,
Yeah.
whatever the percentage is, but yeah, you gotta have money in the bank. So my biggest lesson I learned was having too much money in the street and not having a reserve, because then I gotta go ask people for money,
Right.
and then I gotta pay a premium. So
So when you say keeping in the street, you're talking about properties.
yeah, I'm
Like
talking about
keeping money in the
investing,
properties.
moving. So like, I mean moving. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't mean like street money. I mean like in the street. I mean it's working for you. Your money is no good to you if it's under your mattress, if it's in a savings account collecting nothing. So let's say you have $1,000 in a bank account, right? Your parents say, hey, save your money. Inflation on average is 3% a year. The last 2 years, it was 7% and 6%. So if you had $1,000 in the bank January 1st, by December 31st, on $1,000, you just lost $60 because your buying power is less. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know what y'all eat for lunch, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, something like that.
Mm.
But like 2 years ago, Chick-fil-A was cheaper. McDonald's was cheaper. So your $20 doesn't go as far as it used to. So by sitting it in the bank, you're actually wasting your money because it's becoming less. At the minimum, you got to put it in a high yield savings account so that you're making at least a few percent.
Right.
High yield. Let me see who our entrepreneurs are. Who has a bank account? Okay. Who has money in like a high yield savings account? Okay, that's okay. That's why I'm here. That's good. That's a good question. High yield. Yield means like interest. High yield. So if you have your money in a savings account, do you guys get any money back every month from the bank? No, you don't get any interest. So your money is literally losing money. And then I go to the bank and I say, hey, I got this property. It's worth so much money. Will you give me a loan on it? So I take your money out of the bank and I make money with it because they give me that cash back. And then the people I rent it out to, they pay the mortgage. So I have your money in my pocket. I get to go have fun on vacation, buy stuff I want, sleep in if I want, and you're not benefiting from it because you're not making any money, right? So there's these special type of bank accounts where you make some interest on it. And again, you're making 4 or 5% of your money. When I flip a property, I make 300, 400% on my money. So if I put in, let's say 1,000, I come back with 4,000. And I do about 50 or 60 of those a year, plus what I own, plus merch, plus other stuff. Does that make sense? So you have to build up your money to a point where it's actually benefiting you. If I told you right now $1,000, I can get you $10 a month. What could you do with $10 a month? Literally nothing, right? Like you go to the vending machine, you spend $10, right? It's still only 1%. Now, if I told you I give you 10% of your money, it's $100, right? You could do something with $100. Like you'd feel that, right? You maybe pay a cell phone bill, some of y'all drive, maybe it's some gas money. Like it would impact you, right? So now what if you had 10,000 in the bank, and I told you I give you 10%? Now how much is that?
1,000.
What could you do with 1,000? Even though the number is the same and the percentage is the same, the actual dollar amount is different. So the secret to all of this is you all have to try to get to $100,000 as fast as you can. As fast as you can. Because if you have $100,000 working for you at 10%, now how much are you getting?
10,000.
Even if that's broken up over a month, 10,000 over a year, you're still making $800 a month. That's a free car. That's rent. That's a significant number. So every time you want to go spend money, oh, I'm young, I want to go on vacation, I want to spend this, try to get to that 100,000 as fast as you can, and I promise, you're going to be older way longer than you're going to be younger.
Mm-hmm.
So there's people, I have clients 50, 60 years old that do not have $100,000 and they're trying to retire. They're going to work till they die.
They are.
I'll do this, don't let me forget. And also somebody keep time because I want to make sure y'all get this lesson. I'm going to show y'all this trick about 100 G's. Tom, you go make it up. I'm going to ask you to like, yo, do the $100,000 thing.
All
right, bet. We'll move on.
All right, good to go. All right, so talking about all these different strategies. So you're talking about flipping houses.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about syndication deals with hotels. You're talking about using the BRRRR strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And then also buying an entire entire mobile home park with credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
So all of them, all these students, they're going to be going to college. They're going to be getting paid medium salaries, high salaries eventually. They're going to be going to the military, doing trade school. At any stage of their life, starting now and in the future, what strategies can they use out of all of those?
I got you. So I'm gonna give you 3 strategies right now, and I'm gonna tell y'all this. Y'all can do whatever y'all want. So I have a paid YouTube channel. It is $1 a month. It is $1 a month. And before I make the last workshop I did on Tuesday, so it happens I do workshops, I do trainings, I do videos, and I put them only in my private channel. I'm going to share with you. I'll send it to you, and I won't make it private for another week.
Wow.
Watch it. Just watch the video. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe for free. I'll say thank you, whatever. You don't have to follow me on Instagram if you don't want. I get it. But the YouTube stuff has free information. You can wholesale. I know some of y'all probably heard of wholesale real estate. Mm-hmm. This is wholesale real estate. Very easy. And if I point at you, just tell me your name so I can say your name. Golden State, what's your name? Josh. Josh is in the military. Josh is a typical soldier. Josh found love because he went to a new state by himself. Josh wants to get married. Josh is in Killeen for 3 years. What's your name? Madison. Madison just went through a divorce. Madison has some money, but she's in a bad spot. Josh is in a bad spot. They came to Killeen. They found love. 2 separate people. The market went down. Josh just bought his house with a VA home loan. He doesn't have to put any money down. And so let's say his house costs $100. I'll make the numbers very simple. Every time I say a dollar amount, think hundreds of thousands, but let's just keep it $100, okay? He bought his house for $100 2 years ago. When he got here, he gets divorced. It's a messy divorce. To sell a house, it costs you 10%. He didn't put any money in. So for him to sell his house, he has to give the buyer and the realtors and $10,000. For him to give away his house, he has to spend $10,000. He don't have that. He just got a divorce. Madison don't have that in her house. She just got a divorce. Now, green shirt. What's your name?
Miguel.
Miguel's an investor. They're motivated he could offer them anything for their houses. And he could say, you know what? Look, you just need money to move. I'll give you $2,000 just to move out. I'm gonna keep your lease. That's called subject to. That video and how to do that is on my paid channel. He could offer you, you say, look, I just want to be away from my husband. I hate this house. I have nothing but bad memories. I just don't want it anymore. I have those. And give you nothing and then just take over your mortgage. Now that's called subject to. Now he fixes it, paints it, updates the kitchens and the bathroom, and now raises the property value another $20. Green shirt, what's your name? And then Bethany's another investor, and she goes, I want to be a landlord. I'm willing to buy those from him for $120,000 each. That's called wholesale. He found a motivated person and then added money to the sale. And now he makes money, and he's not a realtor, and he didn't put any money in because he can have this deal lined up, knowing that she wants it for 120, knowing that it's worth 100, and knowing that these two don't want any money. And in the day of the transaction, it's called the A to B, B to C. Y'all know math, right? Like the transitive property. B is always the constant, right? So he doesn't have to put up money. When she pays him, he pays them. So he makes all the profit without putting any money in. And I know that was confusing. So you gotta watch the video, sit down, come to a class, learn. And that's why I have a teen academy. But basically, wholesale real estate, you can make money without putting any money in. Subject to, you can make money without putting any money in. And then there's something called a bird dog fee. Like let's say your next door neighbor has something going on with them, and you call somebody like me, hey man, I think they fight every night. One of us will call them, hey, you know, you seem like you motivated, and then we buy that property and we give you a finder's fee. Sometimes it's $5,000. So there's lots of ways to make money without, just like, what's it called, drop shipping? There's arbitrage, there's all of these different ways to make money without having money. You just gotta have the idea and know how to play the game. So you don't need money to make money. I started real estate with $2,500 of my own money. And then that property I bought with credit cards, that's called OPM, other people's money. I bought the mobile home park, all on credit cards. That was not my money, it was somebody else's money. And now when the rents come in, I just pay down the cards. After a certain amount of time, will the cards be paid off? Yeah. And then I own the park for the rest of my life, unless I sell it for a higher dollar amount.
So when they're going to get their first property, no matter if they're trying to get a whole entire mobile home or a trailer park, or if they're trying to get a multi-family or even a single family, like what do they need to look for if when they're trying to get their first property, especially their first investment property?
I would tell you like this, and I did this when I was younger, and this is in the book. Let me give you some stats first and build up on that, just so we don't miss that. Who's going to college? Raise your hand. All right, everybody's going to college. All right, good. Congratulations. Good. I'm going to ask some questions. And I promise if I get too far, bring it back, because this is important. Yellow shirt. What you going to school for?
Graphic design.
Okay, and you're nice with art.
You said what?
You're a really good, talented artist.
Not to brag, but yeah.
You can brag. You can brag. You can brag. All right, good. So you got your passion. Black shirt. What you going to school for? Yeah. What you going to school for? And what's your name?
I'm Zarian. I'm going to school for dentistry.
For dentistry. All right, you got a passion. What's your name? What you going to school for?
Haley, I'm going to school for nursing.
All right, school for nursing. What school you going to?
I want to go to Texas State.
How much is Texas State a year?
I forgot.
Okay, you need to know that. It says state in it, so it's probably about $30,000 a year. You could go to CTC for how much?
I don't know.
Not even $3,000 probably a year. Let me ask you a question. When you graduate from Texas State, are they going to give you more money when you get your job because you graduated from there?
No.
Okay, so on $100,000, which you're going to graduate with about $150,000 in debt, how much are you going to pay every month in student loan debt for the next 20 years of your life?
A percentage of what I make probably like 20,
25 what?
percent.
If you believe that, but it's not. But let's just say you did believe that. Let's say you made $100,000 a year. You're telling me you're gonna go make $100,000 a year and give up 25% of that for the next 20 years of your life, just so you could say you went to that school, when you can go to CTC and by the time you finish the program and graduate with zero debt, you're gonna be living with your parents till you're 40. Straight up. Please, you already registered?
Mm-mm.
Don't go. Go to CTC.
Okay.
Straight up.
Okay.
I was a teacher. Do teachers make more money because they go to Harvard?
Nah.
It's a salary. You're gonna make a salary if you could find a job. Base, you're probably gonna make $40,000. Your student loans kick in 6 months after you graduate. On a $100,000 salary, on a $100,000 student loan debt, your monthly payment is $1,050. So you're not even gonna have a job necessarily, and you're gonna have $1,000 a month bill on 100 G's, right? But what if you only had a 10,000? Let's do the math. If you only had a $10,000 student loan debt, how much would you have to pay every month? Just drop off a zero. 100,000 is 1,000. Drop off a zero. 10,000 would be drop off a zero.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, 1,000?
Okay, take off a zero.
100?
You'd only have $100 a month bill.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So going to a school just because it's a school, it's fun, it's whatever, you're gonna be broke. I could have somebody who doesn't go to college that goes to works in Walmart, and in year 4 and year 5, they're gonna be doing better than you because they have 5 years experience. They might be a manager. You just came out of school. You don't even have work experience, and you're carrying a $100,000 bill. They already have rental history. They have 5 years of work experience. They're going to go get their first house, and you're going home after 4 years of freedom. And now you got to go back to mommy's house. And then, and nobody will tell you that. So dentistry, cool. Okay, make sure you become a dentist. 80% of students change their major within the first year. You done a dental internship? Do it before you sign up for school. You may find that you don't want to work on teeth. Art, graphic design, what school you going to?
I really don't know.
That's good. Don't go to school for graphic design. Go to YouTube University, take your skills, learn your business. You do not need to pay somebody $50,000, $100,000 to teach you how to draw, and you already know how to draw. You're welcome. I just saved you $100,000. If you listen to me, I just saved you $100,000, and you'll have that $100,000 in your account. Were you 17?
Mhm.
By the time you're 20, you'll have $100,000, as opposed to being 20 and being 90,000 in debt. You see what I'm saying? So do not go to school. First off, I have 3 diplomas. Math degree, a master's in math, a master's in administration, so I can be a principal, a district leader, and an undergrad in childhood education and psychology. I went to school to be a guidance counselor and never got that job.
Never did it.
And then ended up, was like, I gotta work in schools anyway, became an assistant teacher. So I was like, I'll do childhood because there's money there. And I really like math, and my career dictated what it was. And the city paid for my whole degree. I went to school for free.
Nice.
Because my mom was a teacher, I knew the game.
Yeah.
So you really gotta play these games, and nobody's gonna tell you these things. How many of y'all are the first person like in your family to go to college? And no disrespect, maybe your mom and dad, they didn't go to college. They just know that they want you to do better, so they just want you to go. And they're setting you up for failure. Because they just think that college is the answer. There are, how many Americans are there? Just rough.
365 mil.
300, can we call it 350, just to make it a simple number? 350 million. Do you know that there are 250,000 cashiers with college diplomas? It's a lot. And they're happy to have jobs. You see what I'm saying? Like, my homeboy, and I promise I'll get back to the point, but this is why I'm here. This is where the saving happens. My homeboy went to Bethune-Cookman. He had to go to an HBCU. I got sent away. I have a Fresh Prince story. You want to hear the whole story, read the book. My mom sent me away to Minneapolis. I worked corporate, AT&T. I was making more money than my mother when I was 19. She was a teacher because I was working corporate. I was making good money. My friend went to Bethune-Cookman, could not find a job. At the time, he spent $30,000 a year. He was a baggage handler. I think he still works for the airline 20 years later. That's an entry-level position. He could have got that just applying off the street. He's a baggage handler. Like, $20 an hour now. He still has student loan debt.
I don't go away.
But it don't go, and if you die, that doesn't go away. And you can't file bankruptcy and that doesn't go away. The Fed's gonna get their money. So do not go to school just for the sake to go to school. If you are not sure what you're doing, take a year off, go get a job. If you wanna be an entrepreneur, take a year off. Even if you worked at McDonald's, which if you could get that job, because now adults need those jobs. So it's those used to be teenage jobs. The movies used to be teenage jobs. Now it's adults who can't afford their retirement and taking y'all jobs. Anyway, if you can, take a year off, go get a job, learn about taxes, learn about money management, learn these little simple things. I promise you, they're gonna take you further than anything else. So to bring it back to the question about a house, back in my day, in a long ago, the average person could get a house at 21, 22, 23. They could come out of college and get a house. For your generation, it's going up. The average person that was born in your, like you guys were born like 2008, 2007, 2010-ish, like around that decade, the average person is able to get their first house when they're 30. If you can afford one. When you're 30.
Surprised it's not higher, shoot.
It used to be 20.
It's going to be higher.
By the time.
Yeah, you're right. It's just going to keep going up.
Yeah, so if you, instead, what's your name one time?
Haley.
Haley, so instead of if you went to school, because how much money do you make while you're in school?
1875.
How you get that?
I have a job.
Oh, no. You don't have the school's not paying you that. You have a job.
Oh, you're asking like the school?
Yeah, school. How much, when you sign up for Texas, whatever, how much do they pay you to go to school?
I don't know now.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
Oh, okay.
You pay them,
Okay.
right? So you're not going to have time for 1875, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is, it's a D. What's your name? Dwayne. Dwayne's going to college. Dwayne's making $0.75 an hour, right? You're making almost $20 an hour, right? Year one, you live at home, right? Save all your money. How much could you save versus how much could Dwayne save, right? You could save even easily $1,000 a month. So you already got 10 grand. Dwayne has $0.99. Year two, easily $1,000 a month, 24 grand. Dwayne now has 60 grand in debt. 24,000. A house in Killeen is 160,000. You could go take 10,000, put it down, decorate down. You're a homeowner at 20. He can't even get a job yet because he didn't graduate. See what I'm saying? People don't tell you these things because they don't know, because they don't do them. I promise you, if you invest in yourself early, it'll take you more. And hold on, let me be clear. Did I say don't go to college?
No.
Oh, because I might have, just in case. I'm not saying don't go to college. I stay safe. I stay safe. You know what it is, it is. I'm not saying don't go to college. I'm saying if you know you love dentistry and you was a little kid and instead of pulling the Barbie's hair out, you was pulling the teeth out, be a dentist. Like, we need dentists, especially black dentists. We need dentists. But don't go to school because somebody told you dentists make a lot of money. Don't go be an accountant because somebody told you accountants make a lot of money. Don't go to school because somebody said, you know what I'm saying? Like, find your passion, and that's why I asked you to think about it. Pursue your passion, and don't pay money for something that's a talent. Don't, just practice and you'll keep getting better. So the whole thing is, you're probably not gonna get a house. You're competing against me to buy a house. So if I really want the house, I can afford to ask and pay another 10, 15 grand. You can't. In Texas, 2022, 40% of the homes that were purchased in Texas were purchased by private industry.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot compete with people who have money and y'all just started working. This is what you're facing in 10 years. So don't go get into a bunch of college debt just because you think you're gonna get a job. You're probably never gonna get a job. And I don't mean to be doom and gloom. I'm here to tell you the truth so that you don't come back 5 years later like, damn, I should have listened to that dude. Listen now. Go home, have the conversation with your parents. My number's public. Have your parents call me. I'll talk to your parents. You know what I'm saying? I have parents mad at me all the time. Sometimes I gotta get disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna tell my kid? I'm like, I make more than you in a day, in a year. You're gonna give your kids money advice? You're 55, you still got a job. You're gonna tell them, or I'm gonna tell them? Have some humility, you'll be fine. So that's the answer to that. It's gonna be very tough to get a house. And your first one should be investment property. because I did that. Because you're gonna want a nice house, right? But what's easier to get, a starter home or a really nice house? Starter home. Maybe in a bad neighborhood, maybe a place you might not want to live. You take what you can get. Who's gonna live there? A tenant. They're gonna be building your wealth, paying you money, right? And we'll come back. We'll do a whole thing on that unless y'all want to keep going on real estate. But they're gonna pay you money, and then you can take that money and buy another one, and buy another one, and buy another one. Before you know it, you have 10 houses. Now you go get your dream home. The secret to all of this is called basically patience. You know what I'm saying? Delayed gratification is what it's really called. Delayed gratification. If you have your fun now, it's gonna feel great, but it's not gonna feel as great as if you wait a few years and it's sustainable. Okay? So I'm 42, I'll be 43 in a few weeks. Had somebody taught me this earlier, you'd be in my building, in my college, the type of money I would have if I didn't make the mistakes I made over the last 20 years in investing. You see what I'm saying? So y'all don't have any excuse.
At all. Sound familiar? Anyways. And that's a perfect caveat to this next question. Before I go to that next question though, and even if you are going to college to be whatever it is that you're gonna be, you could still, I mean, if you're able to use these strategies without going to college, imagine after you go to college and you're actually pursuing your passion and it happens to be making good money, imagine how much faster you're gonna be able to scale up with real estate once you get there. So you still gotta utilize these strategies regardless of what your path you're gonna take. But that's just my thing. But in order to do that, you're gonna have to have some financial goals, right? And what you were alluding to was discipline. So how do you approach financial goals and how do you keep your discipline in having those financial goals to get to where you want to be?
It's very tough. I'm not gonna hold you. I almost cursed. I mess up money all. Yeah, I curse.
I talk shit all the time.
I fuck money up, but not to the degree that I used to. But remember, there's a saying: as an adult, every time you make a mistake, it costs you money. So if you can just avoid some of these little things, I'm telling you, it'll set you ahead 5, 10, 15 years apart from your cohort, from your counterparts, from your age group.
Yes.
Because people are living longer and you're gonna have to compete with older people. It's unfair. And if your families aren't well off and they can't get you a job or they can't pass you along property, or you're competing with my daughter. My daughter's 19. My daughter's almost a millionaire right now because I started her in real estate young. My grandbabies had credit cards when they were 3 months old because that's when we got their Social Security. Like, you're competing against us teaching our kids those things. And compared to other people, I'm not even making money compared to other people. You have to compete against people who are having these type of dinner conversations. And luckily, Coach brought me in, you know what I'm saying? And like, we knew each other. We knew each other for a while before even
a couple of years before this even happened.
Before we even thought to, because my social media manager, my marketing manager, one of her friends happens to be in one of these programs. So God put that together. But it's very hard to have discipline, and that's why you got to start practicing now. Who has a job here? Okay. And I'm asking this because I've been to plenty of schools, and sometimes the answer is yes, so I don't make any assumptions. Who here has to pay rent? Okay, so you're a lucky group. Who here has to pay for their car? Okay, we'll get into the car stuff later. Every last single one of you, if you don't already do it, who's over 18? Good, all right. And you make money, right?
No, I don't money.
You don't make money yet? With 13,000 subs, we gotta talk. All right, on YouTube?
Yeah,
you don't make money?
You need to have less subscribers and more supporters.
Wait, did you break your 4,000 watch hours?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so we'll talk about it. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So you're not monetizing yet. We'll get you there. Over 18, right?
I'm 18.
18. So over 18. Because if you're over 18, if you're 18, that's okay. It's a math thing. So you can start putting money in a retirement account right now. I'm going to get back to the 100K thing. Don't let me forget. you should be able at a minimum to put away 10% of your check every check. Beautiful. I'm gonna tell you how to put that in a retirement account. That's gonna make you money all the way to by the time you're 65, you end up with millions of dollars. I'm gonna prove it to you. Don't have it sitting in a savings account, and you have that like just in case emergencies, whatever. Nope, put it away. Act like the feds took it. Act like it was tax. And then what happens is your wealth is gonna grow. And then even with that retirement account, when it comes time to get a house, there's something called reserves. You could use that to get a mortgage, even though it's not in an account you have touch with. All right. I want y'all to all start taking 10% of your money. That's a small number. Some of y'all who don't have no bills, I would say take half of it and put it up. I have a kid who came through my summer academy 2 years ago. He was working, he was making like $16 an hour. He listened to the strategy. He hit me with 10 grand. He just finished his first flip. Miss Renata's son.
Oh.
Shout out to my man Josh.
And he went here. He graduated from here.
Shout out to my man Josh.
He graduated from here.
He's about to get paid out the next 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
And then we're going to run the next one.
Yeah.
It is very easy to make money. It is very hard to keep money. It is very easy to grow money. Listen to what I said. Because once you have it, you just put it to work. Just let it. Money wants to work. Really, that's all it wants to do. It wants to circulate. You just got to have it circulating for you, not out of your pocket working for somebody else. Very easy concepts. But did I answer the question?
Yes.
All right.
I wasn't even ready for the next question. I was just in it.
Yeah, because I could go, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I want y'all to ask questions. And also, last thing, I do this pretty often. And then people get motivated, and then 2 weeks later, it dissipates. I'm going to ask y'all, and also, shout out to you. You're one of the only people where the kids actually downloaded the book. You don't have to read it. Like, I'm not so like, oh, you read my book. Flip through it, but like get something from it. Like you're here, like watch the video, go back, do at least just the subscription, just the free one. I don't need the $1, but if you want the game, $1. This is one of the best. I'm gonna add this because maybe y'all don't think I have so much money. So the only way that you're gonna get access to anything is education. It's paying for education. A book. That property, I bought that because I read a book called OPM. I got the strategy, and that's how I did the stuff with the credit cards. That's made me millions of dollars. That book was like $15, 20-something years ago. So you have access to anything I can share with you. All you have to do is send me a message, and I promise you I'll respond to you. So nobody should have any reason to be like, I don't know, you got coach, you got people in your corner.
Yeah.
So if you're unsuccessful, it's because you deserve it.
Absolutely.
If you're successful, it's because you deserve it, but you're going to earn it. So, yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. I'm sorry.
So we're talking about good credit and bad credit. So good debt and bad debt. Everybody's heard of good debt and bad debt. Now, you just said that, one, we already know like buy and hold, well, maybe we don't. Buy and hold, or when you're buying a property or whatnot, if you're going to borrow money from the bank, you got to get a loan. So that's one type of debt. We know about credit cards, and everybody tells us don't use credit cards for whatever, because you're buying Starbucks, you're buying clothes, you're buying whatever with it. So that's like bad debt. But you can use it to buy real estate. So you is now credit card debt not bad debt, or is it good debt? What's the difference in your mind between good debt and bad debt?
I'm going to give an analogy. Is a hammer a weapon?
Can be.
Yes, can be.
Was it designed to be?
No.
Is a baseball bat a weapon?
It can be.
Can
Was
be.
it designed to be?
No.
So it's all in the matter of the person wielding the sword.
Yes.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, that kind of thing. It's all perspective. I'll give you an example. I really like jewelry. I'm programmed. I'm sorry. As much as I know it's a waste of money, that I can't help how I was raised. I'm just stuck.
New York.
Yeah, New York, Brooklyn. I'm a certain way. I can't change. And I don't want to change because I like what I like. I never drank. I never smoked. I don't go to club. I don't waste money on those things. The people who probably smoke cigarettes spent more money wasted.
Absolutely.
And my stuff appreciates. These watches appreciate.
And you got good health.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So back to the messing up money and then whatever. So I have 0 interest credit cards because I get so many credit cards and I don't use them until the bank makes me want to use them. And they say, we'll give you 0 interest for 12 months. There's a 3% transfer fee, a 4% transfer fee, but we'll give you this card, it's $50,000. We're gonna give you $50,000. All you gotta do is pay us 5% one time. Right? It's not a bad deal, right? $2,500 to get access to 50 grand, and I know I can take that 50 grand and turn it to 250 in a year. Who's better than me? I'm definitely doing that. That's what I did with the park. So instead of going and let's say I made $20,000 in profit on the deal, right? And I say, all right, I'm gonna go buy a watch. Next time y'all see me, I have a different watch. You can see me 20 times, I have a different watch on. I plan that. You'll never see me with the same thing twice. I do that on purpose. That's who I am as a person. So I wanna go get a Cartier. I can go buy a Cartier with cash. I can go take the profit and go buy it cash, but I got a 0 interest credit card. So I'm gonna swipe that credit card. I get cash back. I get airline miles, right? Was that good debt or bad debt? Buying a watch. And it's a bust down watch, so it's lost all its value. That's why I did it with a Cartier. So Rolex is a watchmaker, Cartier is a jeweler. There's a difference. So that watch is like $8,500. So putting diamonds in that doesn't matter to me. It's only $8,500. So I wouldn't do that to an $85,000 watch. You keep that factory because it maintains its value, it becomes an investment. Yeah. So the watch is basically rendered value. I could probably pawn it and get like 10, 15 grand for it. But was that good debt or bad debt? I bought it on a credit card. Was that good debt or bad debt?
I'd say bad debt.
Well, why?
I mean, you could have used that money to.
I mean, he can just pay it himself though, and get credit and stuff like that too.
I was saying because you can't really make anything off of it. But
Anybody else?
One of the keys.
Materialistic,
Okay, but what does that mean?
like it's just for your personal style and not necessarily an investment.
Okay, so you're saying it's bad debt. Okay, anybody?
I heard you say investment.
Oh no, the Cartier is not. I would make money on that.
All right. I'm talking about the Rolex.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, this one is why I messed up. I spent all my cash. Oh, no, this is worth 3 times more than what I actually paid for it. But when I had it, I spent my cash.
Right.
So that's why I use that specific example.
Well, if you would have used it on a credit card.
Then what if I would have used it on a credit card? So now let's talk about that. So these things are all perspective.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's why I asked, what is good debt? What is bad? It's all how you wield it. Because there's also one thing, like I could say, save your money for life, and then you die at 43 and you never went on a trip and you never got married and you never, so you gotta find balance. And for me, remember OPM, I didn't want to take my own personal money because remember what I said, every time you have $1, you have a what? Soldier. So I don't want to take 20,000 soldiers out the street working for me. I had 0 interest. Even if I paid 3% swipe fee because you swipe, they want to take that money back. So even if I paid extra $1,000 for the watch, my 20 is still in the street. And I told you, I turn my money over 3 or 4 times in a year. So I turn that 20 into 60 to 80 in the same year. To me, the watch is free.
Right.
But if I would have spent it, it would have cost me 80 is the way I see it. So was that good debt or bad debt? Because I still got what I wanted and somebody else paid for it. Both ways. The credit card paid for it first and the investors paid for it the second time. So I got a free watch. That's how I justify it.
Right.
So do I want you guys to go through that? No, not if you can't afford the $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 payment I made every month to break down the card. But to me, I felt like it was a good purchase because I got what I wanted. I made money off that watch. You know the social media. You know how many times I go to a place, I drive a certain car, and because I have that car, somebody wants to become my client. Mm-hmm. I have a certain watch, so it's also marketing. You know what I'm saying? People be like, if I came in here and I had on $10 worth of clothes, maybe you'd be like, you listen to me. Maybe you won't. But there's somebody in YouTube land that's going to be like, oh, you're not going to, put it like this. Let's say you wanted to get in shape. And your trainer was 350 pounds and looked like they never touched the weight. But they have all the skills in their head. Would you hire them as a trainer? Probably not. Probably not. You're probably going to hire the person with the body that you want. Because then you're like, if they have that body, there's a chance that they can get my body to look like that. So if I have the car you want, I have the watch you want, I have the house you want, I have the lifestyle you want, and I can prove it to you, chances are, and I also started with no money. I came from nothing. Chances are you're probably gonna listen to me because I could do that for you too. Plus I like jewelry, so I just justify it. But anyway, So good debt versus bad debt. You gotta make those decisions. Don't buy things you can't afford. And if you're gonna use your card for like Starbucks and stuff, make sure that you pay off your bill every month at the end of the month. Because if you get cash back, then it's like you got a bit of a discount. That's what I was saying. And that's where responsibility comes in, and I can't teach you that. But yeah, good debt versus bad debt. Yeah, you buy a bunch of sneakers or whatever, yeah, it's probably better things you could do with your money. Because now you're working for sneakers, now you're working for clothes, now you're working for Starbucks, now you're working for the club, now you're working for piercings or hair or whatever. So just be responsible, but you should have fun. You should. You gotta have some sort of quality of life, but you gotta be able to afford your quality of life. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it seems like you have more fun if you're first financially disciplined.
1000%.
Right? Because that's, most of us are gonna say it's gonna be bad debt based off of perspective. You're looking at it from a perspective of somebody who doesn't own real estate, who doesn't have cash flow coming in, regardless if they go to work or not, right? But if you have that other mindset of, oh, well, hey, I do have all these assets already lined up, I have money coming in, you're gonna not want to use your own money. You're gonna want to use credit cards because that's why they create credit cards. That's what it works for. It's kind of like the tax code. The tax code is mainly for people who actually take advantage of it, who have the properties, who have a certain amount of money. So it's not a bad thing, you just gotta get there. But it's easier to get there if you know the game.
Yeah, and I can show y'all that because even at your age, once you hit 18, it doesn't matter what you have, you're already spending money. How much time you got?
We got
15 minutes.
Yeah, 12. Yeah, about 12 more minutes.
I'll do one last question and do the 100 grand thing.
Okay.
And I'll be back. And then also what we're gonna do with this, every class is gonna be different. I'm gonna take this video, I'm gonna compile it. So if you don't wanna hear your class, fast forward that and listen to the other questions. And I'm sure if we have the same double questions, I'm gonna cut those out, any new questions. So you'll have a compilation of all the information, plus I plan on coming back. And we'll do workshops on any one of these things. So, tax code. I'll give y'all a quick example. I'm gonna run through this in under 2 minutes. Keep me on the timer. All right, real quick. Who has a car? Who pays for gas? Who pays for insurance? Who has a cell phone? Who pays a car note? Okay. Who buys lunch? Okay, we'll stop there. Who has a job? All right, good. Y'all all are W-2 employees. Somebody gives you a paycheck. You get a check, you make $18.75 an hour, and then you don't get $18.75 an hour, you get $18.75 an hour less taxes, right? So Uncle Sam takes that money. Now, if you had an LLC and you had a business, you could write that car note off, you could write off those meals, you could write off that gas, you could write off that insurance, you could write off your air fresheners, you could write off your car washes, you could write off your clothes, you could write off your medical bills, you could write off your cell phone, you could write off all these things in your business. And now let's say your business didn't make any money, your business took losses. Think of your LLC as like a second job. Now you go to the feds and you say, Uncle Sam, I made 30 grand this year from my W-2 job, and you guys took 7 grand from me. But I also had a second job, which was my LLC, which is my business. Well, I lost $10,000 in that business. And they said, oh, well, we didn't know about your second job. That's $7,000 that we took from your W-2. Here, take it all back. That's literally what I do every year. That's literally how business works. That's how tax code works. And I could break it down, and it takes some time, and it takes some practice. But just like maybe calculus was tough for you, or maybe learning, the periodic scale might have been tough for you. If you learn it at 18, by the time you're 25, it'll be over for you. It's like me literally teaching you how to make an extra 20, 25, 30% every year because you understand tax code, and it's 1,000% legal. It's like the best hack.
Yeah.
So that's what I teach, that's what I do. All right? So I want to end with because the $100,000 is, I'm telling you, it's like mind
We
blowing.
got 9 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes should do.
Here to go.
Yeah, if you just hit, would you be able to just do it up on the board?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
can.
easy to set up?
Yep.
All right. While we're setting that up, I'm gonna ask y'all to do me a favor, and if you don't, I won't be offended. Everybody, take out your phone real quick. Go to YouTube and search HAHOMES US and subscribe. I'm not asking you for the paid one. If you want the paid one, I'll give you the paid one. It's $1 a month. But I'm not trying to get your money. I'm asking for your support. Okay? And y'all should, so please hit the subscribe button. And y'all also should support these page. And I'm gonna give y'all some free game, and when you get it back, you gotta reciprocate. You gotta throw some bread back. If you just press play on the videos, and there's 30 of y'all in here, he gets 30 watch hours. To get 4,000 watch hours a year, that's 11 hours a day on average you have to have. I got you. And then what happens is, then he starts to get money on his videos. You gotta start pushing your page.
I
And
use a different system.
tell me.
The YouTube short system, not the long system.
The YouTube shorts, you gotta get 10 million views.
Yeah.
That's way harder than 4,000 watch hours. Make a regular video, and now my shorts are 3 minutes because I have monetized. First thing you do is you break in the door. Remember, I want y'all to sacrifice. I want you to have another terrible 2 years, 3 years until you get 100K. But what would you rather do? Would you rather have a tough 3 years or a tough 30 years? So kill yourself, go crazy, work hard, extra money, Christmas money, birthday money, put it in the bank, get to that first 100K. Once you get that and that money's working for you, I'm gonna show you what 100K would do for you, as opposed to stretching it out over 10 years. Which question? Okay. Oh yeah. I'm telling you, look at the shorts, look at the sum. I show real stuff. I mean, y'all will be on here. Y'all already, I already had the first thing. All right. So let's just go to. Could you just open up a calculator?
Oh, just open the calculator? Oh, that was going on.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We can leave that up too. That's a nice backdrop.
Yeah.
but let me tell you like this real quick. All right. Cause I want y'all all to see it. We're all gonna do this at one time. What's the magic number? How much money did I say y'all had to have?
100,000.
So the demonstration I'm going to show you is if you put in $100,000 one time and you did not put in another penny. Just $100,000 one time and not another penny. Okay? Now, the less money that you're gonna have when you get older. That's why I need you to start young. 10 more times. Now you're 50. Hit equals 10 times. Well, yeah. 432. And we're at $1.7 million. We're worth $2 million. This is only if you put $100,000 in. Can you imagine if you contributed every year what you'd have?
Every month.
Yeah, I'm going annual, but yeah, every month, like to build up to 10 grand a
I'm
year.
getting excited.
Yeah, every year I max out my retirement account. On top of what I already have in my retirement account. And I was investing since I was 18. I was in the book with all the money. I was 21. Pulled that out, started again when I was 22. So I'm 43, so 20 years later. But that's only with 100 G's. I put in money every year, even this year. Okay? 10 more years. You'll still be alive by the numbers. You guys are supposed to live to 80 your generation. Right? But you want to retire at 60. So now, how much do you have? 703. That's what your money in just a regular bank account. High yield. 703. What do you got?
I'm 768.
768. That sounds about right. What y'all got in the back? Come on now. What you got?
3.1 mil.
He got 3.1 mil at 9%. 4.5 mil. And that's with only 100,000. What if you put in 100,000 every 5 years? You'd have about $15 million. You would be retiring with $15 million at age 60 if you started now. But if you took off the 10 years, you waited till you were 30, you wanted to live life, you wanted to get college debt, you only have 1.7. $1.7 million in 30 years is going to be like having 500,000 now. You're going to have to keep working. So you have to get this money in the bank as soon as possible. And there's all these tricks. You can pull money out against it, whatever, but that's whatever. Let's do 10 more years. Because remember, when you have this $4.5 million, it's not like you're going to take it out at once. You take out 20, 30, 40,000 a month because you have something to live off of. $11.7 million. Start now. So, how much time you got?
1 minute. 1 minute.
I'm good.
Perfect.
Thank you. Got a question?
Yeah.
Okay, what's up?
When you say retirement account, what retirement account are you talking about?
Once you turn 18, then I'll connect you with somebody. Or I can show you how to find it on the internet. You don't have to go through my guy. I'm not trying to make no money off
Okay.
y'all. I don't make money off the retirement account stuff. But my retirement account guy, you gotta give him at least 50 to start. But I could show, would you have an LLC? I could show you how to pay yourself, get tax deductions. But yeah, you could go to like any reputable whatever. Send me a message, and I'll send you that. And if you want that, I'll send you that. You gotta start putting money away for retirement. And if you have work, ask your jobs for corporate match. What a corporate match is, sometimes they do 3%, 5%. Sometimes they match to a dollar amount. So sometimes if you put in 5,000, they'll put it up to 5,000. That literally doubles your money. And then when you leave that job, you take that retirement account and you bring it to your next job. So you have to start learning these things now. And if you really want to see, go home and ask your parents. Say, do you have retirement accounts? How much is in your TSP if you're in the military? Ask them. So we talked to this guy today. How much do you have? And if your parents are 40 and they don't have at least 600,000-700,000, you know they started late. They should have at least 500,000 if they're 40. If they're 50, it should be at least $1 million. If they didn't, you know they started late, and then you'll see that what I'm telling you is true.
And then you'll do the opposite of what
Yeah,
they did.
yeah, you'll do the right thing. 10% is the average of these accounts because of the stock market. So you should be able to hit that number, and then I'm done.
Easy.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate
All right,
it.
appreciate y'all.